Hey, what's up guys? So in this video I'm going to show you how you can create this beautiful sunflower patriotic theme design inside Affinity Designer. Now if you are interested in that, let's get started. So here I am inside Affinity Designer and I'm going to start by creating the inside of the circular shape of the flower by pressing shift key and using this circle tool, and then I'm going to just center it using the align options, and that looks fine. And at the moment I don't think I will need the stroke. I'll just keep this color as it, maybe make it slightly smaller, so that we can fit the petals around it. Next I'm going to create some petals using the pen tool, and I'm just going to you position it, make it slightly pointier and something like that, and maybe make it less curve so that it doesn't look like a leaf, rather than it should look like a petal. Beautiful design. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Okay, and let's just increase the stroke a little bit. We can of course delete it once we are done. I think that looks fine. And the other thing that we would require here is to repeat this design. So before I do that, let's just fill it with some color, not yellow color, maybe something like that, grayish, something darker than that. And we are going to of course replace it with the patriotic colors later on. And inside I want to show some kind of these lines that appear inside these petals, and they are going to be black, and to give it more like a original organic look. And I think this looks fine. Maybe some more lines here. So currently it is looking like a leaf. We do not want that, so I'll just put some more lines at these kind of things on the other side here, and maybe something on this side as well. I think that looks fine. Maybe bring it down a bit. Let's just color these black. I think that looks fine, and maybe we want to adjust it a little bit so that they have some kind of some thickness to it, so that once they are printed they are not invisible. I think that looks fine for now. Let's just group these three things, and then we need to copy it. And it is easy to copy this thing inside of Affinity Designer. Let me show you what I mean. So I'll just press Control C and then Control V. It has copied and pasted above it. I'll just flip it vertically and then move it downwards. Then I'm going to select both of these, group them together, and then press Ctrl J and then rotate them slightly, something like that. And then I'm going to press Ctrl J a couple of times so that we can fill the rest of the petals like that. And of course there is a little difference between the gap on the petals and between these two petals. We can just simply fix it. It is not really a big deal. You can just rotate them back a little bit slightly, maybe this group a little bit too, maybe this one as well, just a little bit. I think that looks fine. And maybe bring this one slightly like that. So it's just a matter of fixing something till the point you are satisfied with the design. I think that looks fine. And now one thing that you might notice is that all of these petals are looking kind of like the same. We do not want it, and especially I don't want it. So what I would do is that I want it to be kind of like an organic thing, so something like that, so that it has a kind of variation in its shape. So I'll use this arrow tool, white arrow tool, and I'm going to select any of these and then I'll go inside it and try to modify these things, these points a little bit, changing in their angles and maybe making them slightly pointy, or maybe a little bit thicker, some thicker, and some others might be less thicker. just to bring in some variation in it. And let's just speed up this video. But now this is looking fine. Now I want to create a second layer of the petals behind these petals that are on the front. So I'll just start creating another petal shape here, and maybe make it slightly bigger so that they can appear behind it, and slightly, you can say that, outwards from this front layer of the petals. And the shape doesn't have to be different, it can be simple shape, but the size should be a little bigger. So let's just make it give it a stroke color and a fill color, maybe slightly different fill color, and something like that would be okay. And we can definitely we are going to change the colors later on, but at this stage we are not going to mess with it, and make spend more time on this. We are just going to spend some time on these shapes rather than just the colors. So again, we are going to fill it with different stripy things, and let's just make another one, small one here. I think that looks fine. And let's select both of these curves and change its fill color to black as well. Now let's just group these together, and let's just place them slightly here at the center. So now that we have copied it on this side, let's just group out both of these together, and then the same thing, we are going to press Ctrl J and rotate them slightly. Now in this case I wouldn't do the same Ctrl J again and again. What I would do is that I want to bring them on a position where they are visible at the back of this thing. So we will have to change their positions manually and make them slightly bigger, some of these, and something like that. Ctrl J, creating a copy. So I'm not going to do it automatically, rather I'm just doing it manually. Okay, now that we have our back layer on, let's just select all of these and make it slightly smaller so that it fits our document. And then I'm going to work on this back layer to give it a variation and make it slightly different, and some kind of changes here and there. So let's just work on that. Okay guys, now this is looking fine. I might make slightly tweaks later on, but at this point this is looking fine. Now it's time to, let's just color it according to the flag color, let's say for the United States. So the theme that I'm looking here is that I want the back petals to be blue and the front petals to be red, and then there should be a bluish area here at the center with some star shapes. And let's just group all of this together so that it's in the whole flower is in a single layer or single group. And then let's just first create those star shapes, layers of star shapes or lines of star shapes, or rows of star shapes, and then we are going to color them later on. So I'm going to use the star tool inside Affinity Designer. So pressing the shift key and the control key, it is going to scale it from the center, and I think at this point this is looking fine. You can definitely come back and scale them down, and let's just place it here. And I want it to be a white color, so let's just make it slightly white, and maybe some slightly bluish would be fine so that we can see it here instead of pure white. So I think that looks fine. Well, now that our star shape is ready, now we can create a copy of it by pressing Ctrl J and moving it slightly here, and then pressing Ctrl J again, so it will create copies of this at the perfect distance. I think this is looking fine. I think I might need to have a little bit more space here, so I'll just delete this one, all of these layers, and press Ctrl J again and move it slightly further from the first image. I think here at this point would be fine. Now if I'm going to create copies, it has given me some different copies at the perfect distance. So I'm going to copy all of these and press Ctrl V to paste it above it, and then move it slightly here at this point. Okay, this is looking fine. Now I'm going to select all of these, press Ctrl J, and then move them down at this point, and then I'm going to press Ctrl J again, and it has given me the same repetition of the thing that we have already done. And I think I need two more layers here, and then that's enough. So let's just select all of these, group them together, maybe scale them down a bit. I think that looks fine for now. And let's just hide that circle, actually flower layer. And what we want now is that I want the back of these things, this thing petals to be bluish color. So I'm going to go into the group and select one of these petals, like say for this one, and then we're going to go to the select and then select same and fill color. It has selected everything that is the same fill color. That is why we have chosen different colors for the different petals and different layers. So now it's just time to create it, make it blue. I think that would look fine. Maybe slightly darker, something like that, and we can definitely come back and change it. And in the front one we can just say that, let's say make this one, this whole thing to be red color. So I've chosen one of the petal, and again I'm going to go to the select same, fill color, and let's just change its color to be a red color. I think that looks fine, maybe slightly brighter. So yeah, this is looking fine. And in the center area, what I want to use the same fill color of the blue that I have chosen for the background. And for the stroke, I'm going to, I think I would like to use the same stroke, maybe 5 point with something slightly thicker, and I think that looks fine. And for the color, fill color, I'm going to choose this one and choose this eyedropper tool and select that blue color and then fill it with that color. Now what I want is that I want to fill it with some star shapes. Let's just maybe scale it down a bit and see how it looks. I think that looks fine. Yeah, this is looking fine. And now it's time to use that star shape that we have created. So here are the star shapes. Let's just bring them down a little bit, and I think this looks fine. And yeah, now I want it to be only inside this circular center circle, so I'll just bring them down and make it a child of our circle shape, and they only appear inside our circle shape. and you can definitely put more these kind of stars if you want. So I think that is looking fine. I might just scale these some petals outside, and this one, to bring them outward a little bit like that, to make it look kind of like a circular perfect circular shape type of thing, but that's just the tweaking. So yeah, this is now looking fine, and this is one way to color it. Okay, and if you want to color it into a flag type of thing, let me show you how you can do that as well. So let's just create a copy of it so we can do not mess it around, and let's just hide the background one. Okay, now let's say we want to color it in the form of that thing, that's in the form of flag. So one way I would do that is that let's just keep the background to be background petals to be blue, but on the front this red petal we want it to be kind of like that stripes of red and white, alternating stripes. So in order to do that, first I would just change the color of this create a copy of this whole thing by pressing Ctrl J, and change its color to only white colors as the fill color. So I'll select this petal, and I'm going to go to the select same, choose fill color, and in the fill color I'm going to choose the white color, pure white color. And same thing I'm going to do with the this other thing, red petals. Select any of the petals and change its color to the fill. Let's say select the same fill color and change it to the white, that is perfect white. And in the front center I'm going to change the star. Actually we do not need the stars at this moment, so I'll just delete it. And in the ellipse I'm going to choose this again, white color as the fill color. Now that we have this whole our flower in the pure white and black colors, let's just work on this one. Okay, and that's messed it up, and it has changed the other hidden layers as well, but it doesn't matter, we can then come back and change its color. Okay, now that we have this thing and we wanted this back petals to be blue, so we might have to just color them one by one because we have messed it up. And if we do not want anything, I think we should have just logged them layer before we change the colors. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly fill the outer these petals with blue color, and then show you how you can put the stripes on the front petals. Okay, now that our back layers of the petals are filled with blue, let's just create those stripes, red and white stripes. So I'm just going to do this, hide this one, and using the rectangle tool, this one I'm going to create these stripes. And let's just make it according to the width of the document. We do not any kind of the stroke color. In the fill color I'm going to choose the red one, and maybe slightly brightish, something like that. Press Ctrl J to create a copy of this and move them down a bit, and then press Ctrl J another time and move it down a little bit, and press Ctrl J again and again to create some copies of this thing, so that we can just fill it. And then I'm going to choose this one and fill it with one white color again. Use this one with fill it with white color. Select next one, alternating the rectangle, and fill it with the white color. In this way we have created our stripes and alternating colors. Let's just select all of these, press Ctrl G to group them together. And now what I'm going to do is that in this colored petal, the front petals, okay, like this one, and in this one we are going to group them together. And in this group what I'm going to do is that make it at the top, make it a child of this thing. So let me show you what I mean. So let's just hide this one, and in this one first thing I'm going to do is to remove any kind of stroke on it we do not need any stroke on this one. So I'll select each and every petal and remove all the strokes, and also remove any kind of these fill things that we have done, these black things we do not want that as well. We'll just need a pure white uh, petals, that's all. So let's just quickly do that. Okay, now that we have cleared everything, and I think we need to remove the strokes for the rest of the thing as well. So I'm just going to cancel the strokes for the rest of the petals. And now we have this front layer of the petal, just the plain white color. And now what we will do is just add them together so that we have a single shape instead of the multiple shapes. Let's just bring them up, and let's just select this group and delete them because it's empty. And now what we want is that to make these stripes, you can say that this thing called a child of this front thing, and let's just make it like that, and then let's just unhide it, and just bring it here, and now it's the child of our front layer of the petals. And make it position it according to our likeness. And what you see that the details are gone. We can definitely bring those details back using the front thing, this front black and white thing that we have just created. So I'm just going to select this front color, and it's choose it's the blend mode, change it to the multiply, and now you can see that we have our details back in our design. And now it's pretty easy. Now if you want to change it for any other flag color, you can just bring the flag inside it and make it the child of the front layers, and that's totally depends upon you how you want to see your different design in the form of different flags, different countries. So yeah, hopefully you have found this video to be useful, and the next video what I would do is that I will use this graphic and create 2 or 3 different versions of the t-shirt designs based on different text as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out the notification for that video. So that's all for now, guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.